In 2024, people aren't buying products anymore. They're buying stories. That's why the entrepreneurs with the largest personal brands are raking in millions of dollars per year, selling what's essentially bottled air, while everyone else is left fighting for scraps. But the only difference between you and them is the ability to tell effective stories. And working with some of the top creators in the business space, I've boiled down YouTube storytelling to 5 main principles. These principles have not only helped these creators become widely known in their niche, but also generate millions of dollars in sales. And applying just a couple of these concepts can 2 to 3x your views overnight, so you can guess what will happen if you actually implement all 5. And by the way, you can start using these as soon as today, so be sure to pay attention. First principle is that people don't care about your story. They care about how your story relates to them. Let's face it, people are incredibly self-centered, myself included. And while it's kind of a hard pill to swallow, understanding this principle alone will help you make your vlogs, talking head video, whatever format of video you're making, so much more effective. Let's take my business partner Cam for an example, who for the last month and a half has been documenting his journey building a brand new video business from scratch on YouTube. Sorry Cam, but people don't care about you. They don't care about Cam Munet, they care about their idea of Cam Munet. And as Patrick Bateman once said,
there is an idea of a Patrick Bateman, some kind of abstraction, but there is no real me, only an entity, something illusory.
Now, to his audience, Cam represents an ideal or aspiration. They see him as someone they can relate to, or even somebody they'd like to be like one day. Cam isn't Cam. He's the videographer who started out filming car dealerships on his iPhone to now running $1 million a year media agency at 22 years old. Cam isn't Cam. He's a kid from a small town in New Hampshire who was able to turn his passion for making videos in his backyard to a full-time career that supports his lifestyle. Cam isn't Cam. He's the homeschooled kid who was able to overcome his social anxiety and now goes into businesses, cold approaches them, and sells them on a service without fear. Look, you're not actually talking about yourself. You are simply speaking to your audience's desires and fears through you. You just exist as a bridge. You don't exist online to talk about yourself. You are the spokesperson to the people that want to be like you. And so when you stop thinking about yourself as yourself in this egotistical, selfish way, and you see yourself as this messenger who's here to bring the lessons and share those with other people, and you're just this vehicle that is there to share them, everything will start to change. Actually leads me perfectly into my next point, which is don't bring a girl who loves Korean barbecue to an Italian restaurant. Now, a lot of creators are completely tone deaf to their audience's desires. They don't do their homework, they don't know what they're talking about. It's like a fitness coach that assumes everyone in his audience wants to be a professional bodybuilder, that they want to be the next Mr. Olympia, when in reality, most of them just want to put on a few pounds of muscle so they feel a little bit more confident in their day-to-day and they feel okay talking to girls. The majority of people don't want to follow some super rigid diet that consists of broccoli, chicken, and a cup of ice for dessert. They want something that gets them closer to their goals while remaining fun. Essentially, they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to live the lifestyle and continue having fun and going out with their friends, drinking once in a while. They want a plan that fits into their lifestyle, not the other way around. One of my good friends, Coach Paul, who's a fitness coach, does a great job of doing this. One of his mottos on social media is eating ice cream makes you jacked. And well, eating ice cream doesn't actually make you jacked. It's a metaphor that suggests that you don't have to give up all these things you love if you want to build this body of your dreams. And so this messaging is just resonating with a lot more people because it's speaking to people's actual desires, not what you think people want. And so while telling your story, communicating a message that you want people to hear, you need to make sure the things or the details you're mentioning in your story are relevant. So before you choose a restaurant, make sure you do some homework on the girl you're taking out. Principle number 3, let the viewer sell themselves. All the magic of storytelling is letting the viewer's mind jump to conclusions and arrive at them on their own. I actually thought of this a few nights ago when I was watching this new Netflix series called The Perfect Couple. And if you don't feel like watching it yourself, here's the Spark Notes version. The show takes place on this big mansion by the water in Nantucket, and a wedding is being hosted for a bride and a groom. But the night after the wedding rehearsal, one of the guests is found dead on shore. A police investigation begins, and throughout every episode of the show leads you to believe that a different character is responsible for the murder. I mean, in every single situation, the clues add up. It could definitely be that person. This is exactly what the writers want you to do. You fell right into their trap, including me. Because we have an innate desire to feel like we're right or figure it out ourselves. Because the show doesn't force you to believe that anyone's the murderer or is the guilty suspect, we love to jump to conclusions and say, that person did it. We like to feel like we're rational people. That's why murder mysteries are so addictive. So how do you apply this principle from a Netflix show to your YouTube videos? The most powerful way to do this is by asking rhetorical questions, leading them to the answer you want them to believe without directly persuading them. For example, if you cold approach 50 businesses this week, do you really think there won't be one that's interested in your service? Or why do you think all the biggest entrepreneurs are investing in their personal brands? You are simply asking questions that lead your audience into your desired conclusion. Imagine you're looking at a maze from a bird's eye view and your audience is this person navigating the maze, but you already know exactly where it ends up. But to them, they feel like they're going down their own unique path. They ended up at this path by their own. No one else chose it for them. So in their head, they came to that conclusion on their own, when in reality, they were strung along the entire way by you as the creator. But they're not being persuaded because they thought of it first. Principle number 4, become a master of analogies. Analogies are the reason that two creators in the exact same niche can have two wildly different outcomes. One creator can't seem to break a few hundred views, while the other goes on to gain hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. It's because one knows how to dumb it down for the masses. When you're explaining a business model or a concept that people are already unfamiliar with, the worst thing you could do is continue to use more technical language, because the technical language and the terms within that niche are only going to apply to the people that already know them. So you're alienating and disqualifying all the people that don't already know what those things are. So what you want to do instead is oversimplify it by comparing it to something that people already know. Let me ask you something. Do you have any idea how building a no-code software works? Maybe, but most people don't. But what if I explain that building no-code software is just like using a drag and drop website builder like Wix? Now you can visualize that and relate to it because you've probably used a simple website builder before. And this is exactly how we were able to grow Alex Hayden from just a couple hundred followers to over 100,000 followers in a few months, simply by using analogies. We took something as niche and specific as no-code software, and we found a way to make it appealing for the masses. It's no longer this out-of-touch concept. It's something that anyone can start today. They don't need a lot of money to do it. And if you've ever built a website before, you can build no-code software. And the reason this works is because whenever you use these broader analogies, you're now expanding your total addressable market. Because if the total addressable market of people that understand no-code SaaS is 10,000, at any given time, the amount of views you're going to get on content like that is going to be capped at, let's say, 10,000. But now when you market that to the entire world population, or even the amount of people that are just interested in business, now you get to go to 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million. And suddenly now your reach is far more uncapped, because these analogies that we're using are not specific to no-code software. Anyone can understand them. That's the entire reason we use analogies, is to expand our total addressable market and how many people we can reach. Principle number 5, and probably the most important, live examples will always be king. Or in other words, show don't tell. You need to remember that 65% of the population are visual learners. People need concrete examples of what they're being instructed on in order to actually carry out that task. Think about having to read a Lego instruction manual with no pictures and you had to follow everything like it was text in a novel. Like there's just a book of text telling you where to place the piece. You'd probably never finish the set. And this is the exact mistake you're making when trying to educate your audience. They might have a general idea of what you're telling them to do, but they don't really know how to do it. This is the difference between good videos and great videos. But a great video actually shows you using the strategy in practice and signing a $5,000 a month deal with it. This is why Cam's series has been such a smashing hit on YouTube and helped them add over 14,000 subscribers in just a couple of months. No one else on YouTube was making easy to follow videos that showed how you would get your first videography client and actually sign a deal from start to finish. So it really shouldn't surprise you that his first video got over 250,000 views. Because when you're able to take a proven concept and simply communicate it better than someone else, you're going to get all the credit for it. It's like that kid that stole your joke better and got all the credit from the lunch table. You got to be more like him. Now, you may not have realized it, but I just use all these 5 principles on you in this very video. And it's because it's second nature to me. We run a business that helps entrepreneurs communicate their story better through video. But it's a skill that's taken me years to develop, and you might not have the patience to write hundreds of scripts to get there. So I want to help you. If you want to learn by yourself, I have a free 2-hour YouTube course that you can find here on my channel. It covers storytelling, ideation, scripting, all this stuff in way more detail. It's really good. You should probably check it out. But if you'd prefer to have us do it entirely for you, you can check out the link in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.